Hikaru's evening takes a sharp turn when he spots a brilliant beam of light bursting from a nearby building. Inside, alarms are screaming, and guards are losing their minds because something extremely valuable has been stolen. The culprit? Akai, an acrobatic thief who's halfway through an epic rooftop getaway. Unfortunately for her, she runs into a squad of guards, but as a Mecha-Ude host, she whips out her weapon and starts laying down the law. The guards aren't totally helpless, though. They've got anti-Mecha-Ude gear, and soon Akai finds herself captured. Another Mecha-Ude host arrives, eager to reclaim the stolen cube. Akai's Mecha-Ude isn't exactly thrilled about the situation, ranting about how poorly its kind is treated. The blue-haired guy in charge, totally indifferent. To him, Mecha-Udes are just fancy tools for humans. He grabs the cube and mocks Akai, but she's got some surprises left. Breaking free, she launches into an epic rooftop brawl. The guy orders her capture, but she's too quick, dodging left and right. In the chaos, the cube's container shatters, releasing an explosive burst of energy. Yep, the same light Hikaru spotted. Suddenly, Hikaru feels a strange pull and hears a voice begging for help. The next day, Hikaru is still shaken by what he saw. On the train to school, he has a mini panic attack and bolts for home, but his friends catch him first. Meanwhile, Akai is getting chewed out for making such a mess. She's told the cube is still nearby, and she swears she'll get it back. Back to Hikaru, he's telling his friends about the weird voice and bright light, but they're not buying it. He even got a video, but mysteriously, nothing shows up. They joke that he's seeing ghosts, but Hikaru's world flips again when he hears the voice calling out for help once more. Ignoring common sense and warnings, Hikaru charges into a restricted area drawn by the voice. After a frantic search, he discovers a glowing cube, the very thing calling for help. Because touching mysterious glowing objects always ends well, Hikaru gives it a poke. The cube shoots into the sky, then crashes back down, nearly squashing him. It unleashes a blinding wave of energy. Nearby, Akai is stunned, but not as much as Hikaru because now there's a massive arm sprouting from his back, celebrating its newfound freedom. Naturally, Hikaru's freaked out. The arm, on the other hand, is in a great mood, thanking him for saving it. Hikaru wants answers. Unfortunately for Hikaru, the arm has no clue what its name is, and he's desperately trying to shake it off. But no luck, it's latched onto his hoodie like it belongs there. Just as he's about to figure things out, a drone appears, announcing, "Target acquired." Hikaru, thinking it's just a delivery drone, ignores it and focuses on the arm. But plot twist, it's actually a killer drone, forcing Hikaru to run like his life depends on it because it does. As Hikaru bolts, he tells the arm to scram and go with its drone buddy. The arm, however, isn't having it, clinging to Hikaru and declaring, "You're my only friend now." And then, to top it off, it yanks down Hikaru's pants. Great. Hikaru, thinking fast, uses the arm to block the drone's slicing attack. The arm, somehow still calm, tells him they have bigger problems, there are more drones on the way. The arm assures Hikaru they'll be fine, as long as they work together. Elsewhere, a group gets wind that the trigger arm has been found. One guy is thrilled it's back, but everyone else is not so thrilled about it bonding with some random kid. They figure the kid's just a civilian. The group's president tasks Colonel Sanders, yes, that's his name, to capture the arm, with zero concern about what happens to the kid. Hikaru, having found a moment to catch his breath, is hiding. The arm compliments him on his running skills. Hikaru, still pretty freaked out, demands to know what the arm even is. The arm can't remember its name or much of anything, but it's certain of one thing: Hikaru is a stand-up guy. It explains that it can't move properly without something called arbitrium. When Hikaru asks what that is, the arm gets erratic and switches the topic, asking for Hikaru's name instead. Hikaru, more annoyed than intrigued, walks away. The arm protests, warning they're still in danger, but Hikaru's convinced that he's better off alone. However, the further Hikaru gets, the more the arm starts whining, practically losing power like a phone running on 1% battery. The arm begs not to be left behind. Hikaru, despite himself, rushes back to help only for the arm to magically recover. This little back and forth happens a few times, and it dawns on Hikaru that the arm needs him close by or it's toast. Hikaru reluctantly puts his hoodie back on. No sooner than the hoodie's zipped, more drones show up. Hikaru's had it, so he demands the arm start pulling its weight. The arm responds by yanking Hikaru away to safety. High above, a blue-haired guy watches the whole scene and is confident the drones can handle one random kid. He's got his sights set on Akai, who's nearby. Akai, though, is hopeless with directions, and her handler tries to guide her around a building. Akai's arms, yes, she has arms too, suggest just breaking through the building. Akai opts for a shortcut, squeezing through a small gap instead. Because, subtlety. Meanwhile, Hikaru's still running for his life when Akai finally catches up. She wastes no time, using her arms to wipe out the drones. She calls Hikaru's arm Elma and warns it to stay still, or she'll destroy it. Her own arms remind her to read some soothing script, but they're interrupted by Blue Eye, who's still bitter about the night before and starts bickering with Akai's arms. Amidst the chaos, Elma shows Hikaru a way out, and though Akai can't chase them immediately, the drones are still hot on Hikaru's trail. Now regretting his life choices, Hikaru wishes he'd never wandered into this restricted area. He's visibly terrified, and Elma tells him to just leave him behind, it's safer that way. Hikaru hesitates, knowing Elma will lose all its strength without him. Elma, touched by Hikaru's unwillingness to abandon him, realizes one thing. It can't stand seeing kind people get hurt. Elma urges Hikaru to forget everything and make a run for it. But right then, Akai obliterates Blue Eye in a rage and turns her wrath on Elma. Elma surrenders, agreeing to follow her commands, as long as Hikaru is left alone. But something shifts in Hikaru. He decides that running away isn't his style anymore. Being a coward just leaves a bad taste in his mouth. Akai readies to destroy them both, but Elma surprises everyone by telling Hikaru to step forward. Hikaru, confused but trusting the arm, charges ahead. Elma goes through some crazy transformation, enabling Hikaru to land a punch on Akai. She reaches out but can only watch as they escape. Emerging from the chaos, Hikaru finally introduces himself to Elma. Back at the base, a kid collapses in frustration, furious that someone's stolen his Mecha-Ude. He swears that the trigger arm belongs to him. Meanwhile, Akai's boss is disappointed she let the arm escape, but understands no one could have predicted that a random civilian would be able to control Elma. He sends Akai back out, knowing enemies will be after the arm soon enough. Later, Hikaru tries to bring Elma to school, doing his best to hide the giant talking arm. But when he gets to class, he's horrified to see Akai standing at the front as a new student. She ignores everyone else and takes the seat right next to him. With a smirk, she introduces herself. And just like that, Hikaru's life gets even weirder. That's the recap. If you're ready for more epic chaos, hit subscribe and like your future self will thank you.